Well, I am very privileged today to be joined by our regular guest and sometimes co-host as well, and even host, Nicolas Babin, who, if you don't know, you should probably go and check him out. He's a LinkedIn top voice now, which is just amazing. So I want to say thank you for joining me, Nicolas, and congratulations on that, and a happy birthday as well.
Thank you. Yeah, wow. It's a whole package today.
It's a whole package. So today we're gonna talk about onboarding new employees and how you can use AI within your onboarding process to welcome your new hires and take care of your new employees. So it's something I don't know anything about. I just remember being onboarded back in the day when I was working in a wine merchant's by my director, who spent 2 weeks running around these 5 different wine merchants shops, giving me instructions on how to use the till and what to do at the end of the day and how to treat the customers and what I should do if they brought back an uncorked bottle, a corked bottle of wine, right? So things have changed massively, haven't they, in the last few months, even weeks in this kind of world of AI. Right. And I don't like the hype. I know you don't like the hype. We don't like the word salads, all this kind of rubbish information that is generally pushed out there by people that don't edit their posts, right? So, yep. What's happening? I know you've written an article about this. What's going on in this world, Nicolas?
Well, basically, what we've seen since COVID, so it's been a little bit more than a few months, but since COVID, we've seen that you have a transformation on every single industry, every single job, and everything is moving because, suddenly we found ourselves in confinement and we had to work from home, and companies have changed, even keeping their values, but changed their ways of working and everything. And one area where I have seen myself with my clients, a lot of differences is in human resources, and especially with onboarding. The thing is, today, as you know, the new generation coming into the market, they have seen their parents work a lot, really hard, being fired from one day to the other by companies because of financial results or because of no reason sometimes, and so they are really looking for a way of enjoying their lives, and work is not the most important angle of their lives anymore. What's important is really the balance between work and life, and sometimes even between private life and work, and sometimes even private life wins over work. And so what I've seen is with AI is the fact that your first day or your first week or your first month is actually, probably the most important time in your company, because that's when you get the feeling about, you've had 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5, 10 interviews. So some of the people, but you don't know how they work. And so onboarding using AI makes it very different, makes it very, very special, because you have all this excitement and nervousness, because obviously it's your first day. So using AI and being able to personalize onboarding process, which is something that most of the time HR doesn't have the time for, because HR is very busy with other things. And if you're company recruiting heavily, then it's definitely something that you need tools for that. So it's again about human augmented, and in that case, you're augmenting the HR executive power, if I can say, because rather than spending 2 weeks, a month with somebody, as you just mentioned in your example, you can have AI getting the right tools, the right examples, the right ways of working in the company, and it's tailored to actually every single new employee. For example, for me, the way I've worked for over 37 years now is I always wanted to change jobs after 3 years. That was really my point. First year I used to learn. Second year I used to put in place what I learned, And third year, I used to prepare for my replacement. I stayed with Sony 15 years, and I had 5 different jobs at Sony, which was exactly in big thanks to that. But each time I had a new onboarding, and even if I were when I left Sony, I had a new onboarding, and what I really enjoyed the most, and what was really the most important for me, was the fact that personalization matters to everyone today. As a customer, you have what we call CX, customer experience, which is really about personalization of customers. And so HR is no different. You have employees that are also customers in their own experience, in their own lives. And so they need to basically, have role-specific orientation, learning at their own pace, because everybody is different. And also they all have different engagement and satisfaction. And AI can help that based on, an amount of data that is available today, or that HR would gather during the recruiting process, because you would have sent your CV, you would have checked references, you would have checked also on social media whether or not the person has been honest in the CV and things like that. And so that personalization is a very important angle, and that's one of the angle. If you want, I can carry on, but maybe you have.
Let me. Yeah, I want to just go right back. So we're actually talking about pre-hiring, right? So we're starting from the beginning of, I'm Nathaniel Schooler, and I'm approaching you, and I want a job, and I'm inputting my information into the system, right? And then from that, there are going to be certain triggers that are going to be triggered. I'm either going to be I'm going to be thrown out because maybe I'm unemployable, which perhaps I am. Unless there's an amazingly good job out there for me and someone approaches me, I probably am. But I do think it's quite exciting, really. But also it's a worry, because then there is obviously the bias. So if those algorithms are programmed in the wrong way, someone could apply for the job. They could be the perfect employee, but just because they don't have X, Y, and Z, they're not even going to get an interview, right? So
can I answer that one?
From there, yes, please.
I mean, the one thing that we, as you know, I'm also an ambassador for the European Commission, and so I have read, and I'm very familiar with the AI Act that the European Commission has come out with about a month ago now. That's been official, and they have created this EC label, European Commission label, that prevents, or at least optimize the quality of data. In order to get that label, you'll need all the tools that you're going to be using for onboarding, for pre-selection of your candidates. They will need to go through a very strict audit by a totally neutral company, European company, that will ensure that at least the bias of the data is at the minimum. And so data quality, data transparency, credibility of data, all these things is actually a very important element of the AI Act. So at least in Europe, I'm only talking about European citizens here, we were protected against those type of bias. But you're absolutely right. It's an issue, but it's something that the European Commission thought through and has put in place this AI Act.
Right. So the software manufacturers have to adhere to this. Yeah, I get it.
If they want to do business in Europe, they will have to have that EC label. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, with America, they're following suit. Africa's following suit. China isn't.
Canada, Brazil.
At the moment.
Yeah, Canada and Brazil are actually 2 countries also that are very close to us in terms of Europe. Mm-hmm. America, as we all know, is less legislation, the better for them. But at least in Europe, we're the number 1 in the world to have done this AI Act. It's the first time ever, and we're hoping that with this act, at least other countries will follow.
Absolutely. So let's say you've gone through that process.
Yep.
You've got to the point of your new employee is starting work. Okay. So
Yes.
this is the first day. Nat walks into the virtual office, all right, or the real office. Okay.
Yep.
And then the AI is going to do what? What's it going to look like? How's my day gonna begin?
So basically, as I don't know if you remember your first day in some companies, but you need to do a lot of paperwork.
Mhm.
That's your first day. So AI will help with automation of paperwork. It will transform paperwork work. For example, it will streamline processes when you have to enter information about tax forms, policy acknowledgement. AI will guide new hires through all the necessary paperwork efficiency. It will ensure that basically all documents are completely accurately and promptly, and especially more importantly, it will not ask questions that he already has answers from. Very often I found myself so frustrated that I had to answer on a form because I was now a new hire, information that I had been asked during my interviews. This time AI will have all this information, and really the streamlined process will be so thin, is because already AI will have access to all this information. Then you have digital signatures and submissions. You'll be able to do all the digital signatures, automatic submissions. Basically, thanks to AI, physical paperwork will basically this almost will be gone, and it will save time, resources, and also will be good for the planet if we talk about sustainability. But there'll also be error detection, because how many times have you had that you fill the form and you think, oh, I've done a good job, you submit it, and then it comes straight back to you straight a week later or 2 weeks later. Actually, you're missing a signature here, you're missing your social security number here, blah, blah, blah. AI will be able to detect missing information, inconsistencies within the forms. It will prompt immediately, real time, new hires to correct those errors. And so again, it will help minimize delays and the need for follow-up. So rather than spending a week because you have all these forms to fill out, with AI, you'll be able to just get that painful and mundane work done real time. So
Right.
that's the step. Once you've started, you've been recruited, you started, AI has already helped you by personalizing, sorry, your experience, and then later on giving you a tool to automate all the paperwork.
Right. Right. Fantastic. And in terms of sort of growing the knowledge base, I mean, you're not going to really need to, are you? Because you're going to have all this data around whatever job that you're in. You're going to be able
That's
to
it.
just type it into an internal chatbot, which has access to all the information and resource that you need.
Yeah.
So really, you instead of you feeling like you're completely out of depth, you just say, oh, well, I'll get back to you in a moment, I'll just check that for you, and then you can go and you can look in the internal systems and all this kind of stuff.
That's
And
exactly it.
right. And presumably it will pair you up to people where it thinks you've got a knowledge gap. So you can, for example, type in some answers to some questions, and then
Yeah.
it will say, oh, well, I think that you should meet so and so because he knows a lot about this, and you would benefit from learning more about this subject. Da 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 da. So there are all these kind of educational, which I'm excited about, Nicolas. I'm super excited about these educational kind of pieces for new employee onboarding.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because AI again, it's like social media. It suggests you people with the same type of background, with the same type of values and things like that. It'll be exactly the same thing. And one very important point too, it will help the HR executives. Because if the HR executive doesn't have to be behind the new hire all the time to make sure at least all the forms are well done and that the onboarding is going well, they can then focus on strategic aspects, which I find with my clients, at least when I ask them, that what they enjoy is like, cultural building of a company, employee engagement. That's the type of things they like to work on. And so when they have to spend a week or 2 weeks or a month on with a new hire on really mundane type of work, it's, to me, it's a win-win for everyone. The employee has a fantastic experience because it's tailored for himself or herself, sorry. And the HR executive, on the other hand, doesn't have to worry about it because AI is there to augment them, in the sense that AI is going to do the work that they don't like to do. So that's why, to me, that's why I decided to write this article, because I realized that I've been in business for quite a long time, as you know, and really that onboarding is so critical, so important, and most of the time it's either not taken seriously by either the employee or the employer, but also it's done poorly. And sometimes, if you stay long in the company, it will follow you through your whole career. So let's say that you made a mistake at the beginning, 15, 20 years down the line, you'll say, yeah, but hang on, 20 years ago, you said that. Oh, right. With AI, at least you would have corrected the error real time. You will have made sure that all the inconsistencies are corrected. And that's why I see it as really a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. When you put this into an alignment with education and company values, company culture, I think it can build really an organization of the future. And that's really quite exciting, Nicolas. I think, we're at a point in business and in life where anything is possible. We actually have all of the tools, but it just depends, when are we going to implement them? When are we going to actually take action and embrace all of these technologies? And I think it's good that we've had the Luddites kind of pulling us back, because actually in many cases we need those people, because they're the voice of reason. Yeah. Everyone goes a bit crazy, don't they, in embracing all these new technologies, and actually having that voice which says, hold on a minute, we need to use independent thinking still. And we need to, this is a big thing right now. I've been talking a lot about this, and Nicolas and I will talk again in a few weeks' time, and we will see if we can come up with another great topic. And if you do have any questions for us, drop us an email or a message on LinkedIn. We'd love to hear from you, and do comment on this video if you found it useful. And thank you, Nicolas. I always appreciate you and love talking with you.
Well, same here, definitely. I never say no to any invitation from you, Nat.
Well, we need to drink some wine, Nicolas, and eat some food. I think
that's also true, especially for my birthday.
We do. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.